Welcome back to another live and amplified livecast. I'm your host, Tom Quat, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we are continuing our 25 Days of Christmas. It is our podcast special celebrating Christmas music released by independent artists. Today, we have a very special guest. We have a returning special guest, Sarah Harralson. How's it going today?
I'm good. How are you doing, Tom?
Doing really well. You know, it's kind of that weird time in Texas where you leave in the morning and it's like 30 degrees, and then you get out of work and it's like 70 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't know what to dress for anymore. So,
Yeah, it's been cold here in Nashville, but there's definitely been some not normal weather going on down there in Texas for you.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So excited to have you back on. It's been a little bit, not quite as long as I had thought. I thought it'd been at least over a year, but then I went back and looked and I was like, nope, not quite been that long. So
Yeah, it
excited to
has
have you
been a
back on.
while. Yeah, but I'm excited to be back. I've enjoyed being on here for the past few times. So
Mhm.
yeah, great to be back.
Awesome, awesome. So how's everything going? How's Nashville been treating you?
It's been great. Yeah, I feel like I've been out of Nashville a lot this year doing shows and other places and other countries. I've been very fortunate with that. So I'm just enjoying spending the end of the year here in Nashville at home.
Awesome, awesome. And then just as kind of a quick refresh for everyone, where are you originally from?
I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee,
Okay,
originally. Yeah.
okay. So not that far of a trip for you.
Yeah, not far at all.
Awesome, awesome. So we're obviously here to celebrate Christmas music and talk about Christmas music, and you got a new song dropping here soon? Yeah. Sorry. I don't know why I paused on that one, but you have a new song here dropping soon. The greatest gift of all. Kind of tell us the story of this.
Yeah, so The Greatest Gift of All comes out at midnight tonight on all streaming platforms. So you can find it anywhere you get your music. And this is a very special Christmas release for me. Um, so it has definitely a personal story that I want to share behind the song. Last Christmas Eve, I lost my mom to colon cancer. She fought cancer on and off for about 5 years.
Hmm.
And so I was very lucky to be able to spend her last week with her last year before she passed. And when she did pass on Christmas Eve, it was kind of bittersweet because
Hmm.
it was a blessing. She was no longer in pain,
Hmm.
but also I just felt very sad. And of course, it's hard to deal with grief during the holidays, during Christmas.
Hmm.
Um, and so I thought that maybe I wouldn't find as much joy in Christmas or the holidays again. Just thinking about it, I wasn't sure how I was going to deal with it in the future. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to sing or perform Christmas
Hmm.
songs again. And so as I kept thinking about it, and as I dealt with my grief as time went by, I realized that it truly was the greatest gift that she passed when she did. The
Hmm.
timing was perfect in a sense because that's the gift she wanted all along. And I wanted to kind of write a non-traditional Christmas song about that, and also a song that's for other people dealing with the same kind of grief and hardships during the holidays, because most Christmas songs are upbeat and happy, but there's so many people that struggle during the holidays. They have grief or stress or just personal life issues going on, and they don't really have there's not really any Christmas songs that cater to that. So I wanted a song that kind of caters the need to people who are going through the same thing as I am, and it's just kind of a reflection of, I understand what you're going through, and we don't always have the people we want right by our sides during the holiday. So it's definitely more of a bittersweet Christmas song, but also looking on the bright side of things, when we have grief and misfortune during these times as well.
Yeah. 100%. As somebody else who lost their mother a few years ago, that was after she had passed. She didn't pass anywhere near Christmas. She passed in the middle of the summer, but Christmas was always kind of her time of year. Like that's where
Yeah.
she just really was. I don't want to say the happiest, but she just had a little extra pep in her step around the holidays.
Hmm.
And, she just really enjoyed it. And it's just recently where it's kind of like it doesn't hurt as bad around the like that first year. It was just kind of like, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can do Christmas this year because, all that stuff. But, you know, hearing you tell this story is just shows your strength as a human being. And, like you'd mentioned that this was kind of a blessing in disguise that she isn't in pain anymore.
Right.
And, I think that is a very, um, that's the best way to look at it, you know?
Right. Yeah. And sometimes it can be hard to find the good and, so much sadness. But I wrote the song in April of this year.
Mhm,
I wrote it with my friend and co-writer Christy Huff.
mhm,
And the reason I wanted to write the song with her, I wanted another mind on it, because she was kind of going through the same thing before me. So she lost her mom 6 months before I lost mine.
mhm.
And um, it was a little bit strange because her and her mom had the same age difference. Like they were the same ages when her mom passed as me
Oh,
and my
wow.
mom were when
Yeah.
my mom passed. So I thought that was an interesting coincidence. And I just felt like I needed to share my story with her and talk to her and write this one with her. And she was up for writing it with me. And I'm
Mm,
so glad because I feel like we got to, talk through things and we knew like, we're not alone. Other people are going through the same
mhm,
thing as us. And I think that helped us craft the song to where, okay, yeah, this is my personal story, but now I think a lot of other people can relate to the same thing that they're going through. And maybe they'll find some peace in the holidays just listening to this. To It's a reminder that you're not alone, and there's always a way to look at the bright side. And you can still do the holidays. Maybe it'll just be a little bit different from now on.
mhm. Yeah. And you brought up Christy Huff. She's a friend of the podcast. We've had her on, and um, it's it's so like it's so weird. Just to as I was dealing with my mom passing, I saw she had posted on it was one of the social media platforms that her mom was diagnosed or was going through the same thing, and it was just kind of like, it had to, you wanted to be there, and then I saw everything going on with your situation, and it was like, in my head, I was just like, I don't know what's changed, but it's so I don't know what's going on right now.
Right.
Like that, it just kind of seemed to be a continuous theme of people dealing with cancer and like bad cancer too. Well, not that any cancer is like good, but
Yeah.
some
Well, I
good.
agree. I think more so than ever, so many more people are dealing with cancer and at a younger age too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I 100% agree. So the greatest gift of all, it drops tonight at midnight,
Hmm.
which um when did you say you started you started writing in April?
Yeah, so we wrote it in April, and then I knew I wanted to release it for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Just because even as an artist, people expect you to, release something around Christmas. And I'm like, I can't not release this since it'll be the 1 year anniversary of my mom's passing. I think this is too perfect not to release. So I actually was just so excited to start recording it. So I started recording it here in my home studio, and I ended up doing all of the production and vocals myself here. So it was definitely just one of those songs I was excited to work on, and I love how it turned out. And I think it's because I just put so much heart and so much of my own emotion into it.
That's and you know, it sometimes even though it may be, even if you think it's a little bit raw, because it's such a personal song,
Yeah,
like because you did it in your own studio, you pretty much did everything yourself.
yeah.
I think that's going to be that little extra touch because it's like it's such a personal song. You put your blood, sweat, and tears into writing the song, producing the song, and you know, promoting the song that I think people are going to really resonate with it, and it's going to be special to see what happens.
Yeah, and I hope for some people going through things this holiday that maybe they can listen to it and find some peace or find
Hmm.
some joy in whatever way that may be.
Hmm. So as we're sitting here, we're about little less than 5 hours before the song releases. The greatest gift of all. It'll be available on Spotify, iTunes, all the traditional places. What's kind of running through your mind as we're kind of approaching the final hour here?
I'm really excited for people to hear it because it was such a personal song to write. And
Mhm.
um even if people can't relate to, having grief or missing someone during the holidays, maybe it can bring them some sort of understanding,
Mhm.
uh, that maybe they have some friends or people around them who, you know, need a text or need a visit during the holidays, because I think people get so wrapped up in um, seeing on media and TV during this time of year that everyone's happy and having a holiday party and, getting together. And it just makes you realize that, oh, maybe I have a friend that needs a phone call or a visit during this time of year. So um yeah, I think it'll give people a good reminder just to try to be as together as they can with
Mhm.
their friends and their family.
Yeah, 100%. Uh, so with this release, are you doing a music video or anything? Because I saw you kind of did like was it like a slideshow on Instagram? Was it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
posted a little sneak peek of the song
Mhm.
this week on Instagram and TikTok, and it was just kind of a little reel of pictures.
Mhm.
I was looking through old photo albums and just picked some of my favorite past Christmas photos that I thought would be nice to have like in the background of the sneak peek of my song. And then this weekend, there will be a lyric video out for the song as well. Um, and by the time this podcast drops, the news will already be out that I am also releasing a Christmas EP on
Yes.
December 15th. And it will be titled The Greatest Gift of All after the song. And so it'll have that song, a few other songs that I've released in past Decembers,
Mm.
and then it'll also have a new song, a new cover that I recorded this January of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, which has always been one of my favorites.
That is a very good song, and I think it's a one of those songs that not enough people cover because I think there's just so much you can do with it, and it's a really cool song. So the fact that you're covering it, I can't wait to hear that. So
Yeah, it's always been one of my favorites. And after my mom had passed, my former boss at the Belmont Recording Studios, I worked for him for my whole 4 years while I was at Belmont. He reached
mm,
out to me, and he has a home studio here in Nashville, and he asked if I just wanted to come by sometime soon and record a song with him.
yeah,
And I said, Yeah, and then I was thinking, you know what? I think I want to record a Christmas song if we're going to be
Mm,
recording a song. So I decided to
nice.
do that one. And so we tracked the song at his studio here in Nashville.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So did you know for a while that you wanted to do this EP, like, or a
Yeah,
Christmas EP?
I've been wanting to do some sort of Christmas project for a while, whether it's an EP or
Mm,
album, just because I usually always release a single
mm,
each Christmas. Um, and I think this year, with Christmas being on the front of my mind because of
mm,
my mom, I think it just makes sense to have my meaningful song out first and then
mhm.
have just a collection of songs just kind of showing you know, it's bittersweet, but I still do love Christmas, and here are some of the songs that bring me joy during this time of year.
That's awesome. That's really cool that you're kind of using your passion of writing music to commemorate your mother. That's really
Yeah.
cool. Um, one thing that I would kind of like to dive in on a little bit, because this is something that I realized that I started doing after my mother had passed. Have you noticed that you feel a almost an empowerment to start taking some more chances in your music career or in your just in your creative passions in general since the passing of your mother?
Absolutely. I've always been one to take chances and taking opportunities, but I think now that I guess now that she's gone, I feel it's hard to put into words,
Mhm,
because if even if you're a caretaker or not a caretaker of someone who is sick, it's always on your mind if you
mhm,
try to go out and do opportunities. Because you never know how much time you have someone who's
mhm,
sick. So, and that can prevent someone from going out there and taking chances or pursuing opportunities.
mhm,
So I'm grateful that I have, the chance to do that now, and that my brother does as well. It can be unfortunate circumstance
mhm,
to get to have this time to do the opportunities, but I think it's also because I know she would want me to.
mhm,
She would want me to go out there and, chase my dreams. And I It was interesting because when the beginning of 2023 happened, I was just starting going through my grief, and I
mhm,
was just kind of taking things slow in January and February, thinking, well, I'm just going to write songs, and that's going to be my therapy, and I'm not going to do any shows right now just cuz I don't really feel like it.
mhm,
Um, and then I was still taking song orders for when people hire me to do vocals on their songs, but I feel like I didn't really have any intention except for,
mhm,
to keep moving, to keep going. And and then I feel like an opportunity just kind of fell into my lap this spring, when a guy named Barney Esville reached out to me on Sound Better to record vocals on a song with him. It's called Hello, My Friend, and it was originally a hit in Bulgaria,
okay,
and he wanted to translate it to English and have me sing on it with him. So I recorded my vocals and I gave him permission to release it. And then all of a sudden, it just became very popular in Bulgaria. One morning, I had Bulgarian TV calling me out. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, this is so random. And then eventually he called me and asked me if I wanted to come out to Bulgaria and play some shows out there, um, on behalf of the America for Bulgaria Foundation.
mhm.
Um, and so my boyfriend's a drummer, so we went out there this summer and met this guy in person and did shows with him and some uh, other Bulgarian musicians, and played in Bulgaria and other surrounding countries. And it was just the experience of a lifetime that I never thought I would get to have. And it was amazing. And just reflecting and looking back on it, I had no intention of doing this. And my mind wasn't, in the mindset of, I want to go internationally this year
Mm,
and play shows. And I'm just so grateful that it just all kind of fell into place. And I think that's what I needed to
mm,
move through my grief and keep going. And so even if someone's not in the mindset to pursue opportunities, I would definitely say just keep at it, keep doing something that you love, and eventually that will move you to where you need to be.
mhm. 'Cause it definitely is a very fine balance, because I definitely got myself caught in that situation as well, where you're trying to deal with your grief and, just trying to comprehend of everything that just happened. And
Yeah,
it's not always easy, and it's sometimes it's tough to deal with, and like, all these different things. But sometimes, yes, I agree, like, taking it slow, at least initially, and then just kind of trying to get your footing back in. But when those once in a lifetime opportunities present itself, it's you have to, like, stop and really think about it, because it's like, "Okay, I know I'm going through this. I've had my time to grieve, and now am I still grieving, or am I just feeling bad because of the situation?"
right.
And, yes, Bulgaria, that you're right, that is very random. I don't
Yes.
yeah, like, I don't even know if I don't even know if I know where Bulgaria is on the map, just let alone, when you said it, I was like, "Oh, yeah, that is a country, okay."
Yeah,
So,
I didn't really know the geography of it either before I went out there, so.
but at least you had your boyfriend with you, and that to me, that's kinda always the interesting thing. Early on during the pandemic, I had, a little bit of a following in Pakistan,
Oh,
because
wow.
we had a couple of musicians that were based out of Pakistan. They're from Canada, but they were based out of Pakistan. And he was like, "Yeah, man, whenever this kind of all clears, come on out. We'd love to have you here." And I'm like, um, we're gonna have to revisit that. Let's take a beat on that one. So
Yeah, that's a little bit more of a gray area.
yeah.
But yeah, definitely going out to Eastern Europe and playing with people I have
Mm,
never seen or met before, it definitely was a requirement to have someone out there with me.
yeah,
But I'm glad it all worked out how it did, because it was a great experience.
awesome. That's really cool. Um, So, being that this is a Christmas podcast, we're talking everything Christmas. So, I have to ask, what is your absolute must watch Christmas movie?
I think, well, each year I either have to watch Elf or National Lampoon's
Hmm,
Family Vacation at least once.
okay.
And
I,
then on Christmas Eve, I used to have a tradition with my mom that we would watch It's a Wonderful Life, which is
mm,
always a classic too.
nice, nice. It, I never realized how big of a hit National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation was. Um, because just growing up, I'd always thought it was just like something that our area knew about because it was like a Chicago thing.
Yeah.
And then as I grew up and like, went away to school, and then I started moving out, and everybody's like, "Oh, love National Lampoons." And it's like, huh, okay. I guess, you know, that it was is a lot bigger than I thought it was. So
Yeah, it's definitely a classic in my books.
yeah. Awesome. Awesome. And then what is your fondest memory of Christmas as a child?
I feel I feel like I've been on a Christmas version podcast with you before,
Hmm.
because I feel like I've told you this story before. Um, but I always remember growing up when I was little, and of course still believed in Santa and everything. Um, my mom would always go to extremes when I still believed in Santa to
Hmm.
make me think that he actually came, by leaving like little chocolate pellets outside as, you know, as if the reindeer came, and also knocking over patio furniture to make it look like the reindeer um, fell off the roof into the patio furniture. And just looking back, I think it was so cute. Like the extreme measures she went to make it look like Santa and the
Mm,
reindeer and elves came.
that's awesome. That
Yeah.
the chocolate droppings is the topper for that one. Just
Yeah.
like if we want to go talk about going to extremes, it's like that might be the extremist of extreme.
I know.
So, uh, but yeah, so thank you for sharing that. That's gonna make me smile for a little bit, just because, like, I love hearing stories like that. So,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
going beyond just eating the cookies and milk.
right, yeah. Um, so for anybody that wants to listen to the new single, the EP, or watch the lyric video, or just interact with you on social in general, where's the best place to find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on all social media under Sarah Harralson. My website is sarahharrelson.com. So the Christmas single is already out, The Greatest Gift of All, and by the time you're listening to the podcast, you can find the EP on December 15th everywhere.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, once again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I always enjoy having you on. And I say it every time, but one of these years I will get out to Nashville again. It's been way too long. It'll be 4 years in January since I've been there.
Oh,
So
wow. Yeah,
we
you
need
must then.
we need to change that. But I'll
Yeah.
let you know when that happens. We've got a couple things cooking. So we'll
Awesome.
see. Awesome. Well, once again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. And we will catch y'all later.